Recording is on.
So welcome everyone to the Public Eternities Developers Update. It's week number 40, so 12 more weeks to go, and then we finally reach 2020. There was a little gap the last 2 weeks in the development update calls. One was not recorded. The one was skipped due to the Universe conference in Prague. There are very nice recordings on YouTube from 2 days of talks. So everyone who was not able to come to Prague can watch the video online. And we are still in the final steps for Lima, but for sure Sergey will say a few words to that. And before we make the round, I would like to give a short update from Pivo. He wrote me that he spent most of his time this week on the token migration for the non-transferable tokens, so the ones frozen on Eternity, the frozen on Ethereum. And so people can access them after the hard upgrade. He was preparing the first governance app deployment on mainnet that will then be available for the public. Regarding the token migration, I guess we have also people here who can give a short update on this, so I will not go into details here. Stoyan, who is overlooking the base app, has written me that they made Spanish translation and that it's now possible to redeem paper wallets, which is, I think, a really, really nice feature. What is in progress is deep linking. An MVP of deep linking. So if you want to sign a request, for example, you get deep linked into the base app and get the sign request, which is nice. They have done metadata expansion fields for metadata, and the browser homepage was changed due to App Store rules. And in the upcoming next week, obviously the work for Lima and the SDK will continue. A very important feature that should be ready for the launch is the name auction graphical user interface within the base app, and also that the Ledger hardware wallet can sign smart contract transactions, which is also requested and important. So these are the updates from Pivo and Stoyan, and I would like to jump to Sergey. And Sergey, you can maybe give us an update on the core development.
So, hi everyone. So can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I hear an echo. I think somebody has a microphone on. Okay. So, yes, as Evan said, yesterday was a big day. We finally released our release candidate 3. So we were actually feature complete already, like more than a week ago. But the biggest hurdle was where the addresses, migration of the addresses, where the funds on Ethereum network got frozen. So it took us a lot of effort to make sure that we prepare all the tools for migrating those accounts very carefully, so that to make sure that anything anything disappears or some funds just appear out of nowhere. So we were testing, verifying, recomputing it. So we had 3 different sources doing the same basically computations, and only when we were 100% sure that everything matches, that we are getting the same results, we said, okay, now we are done. So let's integrate this smart contract, which will be responsible for the transition into our release, and create the RC3. So basically the last week, no new features were added. We were mostly busy with preparing this migration tool works, and the rest of the team is already working on the post-Lima features. So we started implementing the feature that we've discussed in Prague. So we have Hans working on preparing the math which is required for implementing zero knowledge proofs inside of our smart contract, then we further improve our state channels and we develop Sophia further. And also we have now time to like look back and take care of some technical debt. So now we have several people working on improving the sync speed and on taking care of like bloat of the size of the blockchain, also called garbage collection of the chain, where we're looking what can we remove and to make sure that the size of our blockchain doesn't like grow exponentially as it happens right now. And yes, this is it from my side so far. So I hope.
What is the time? Cool. Thank you very much, Sergey. What's the timeline from your side now?
Yes, of course, very good question. So right now, the release candidate, which was released yesterday, has following dates pinned for hard forks. So 16th of October is going to be the hard fork of the testnet. So I think the SDK was already updated to all the changes which were introduced in Lima. So now if you rely on the SDK, it's time to grab it and prepare everything to test the behavior of your application on the 16th of October, basically how they will transition from pre-Lima to the Lima hard fork. And if we don't find any serious issues, the hard fork of the mainnet will happen on 30th of October. But like honestly, it still can change in case we find some issues, but okay, this is a normal process. But right now we have two dates pinned, 16th and 30th of October. So you can see them in the code. They're encoded as block height. And this is when we plan our hard fork to happen.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sergey, for all this information. Next in line is Milen. I think you are going to board, and I've seen you active also around tokens in the wallet, and I was pushing a little bit here because there are quite some community requests on playing around with it. Maybe you can say a few words to that and also to the progress with the browser wallet.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So the past week we've been working on refactoring all the contract codes we use in wallet, because after the update of the SDK, we needed to make it compatible with the ACI that the SDK is using. Now every smart contract code is fixed, and it is possible to do everything with the smart contract interactions and also with token interactions as well, as it was intended. This fixed some problems which we were facing with interactions, such as passing addresses and not encoding properly some parameters. Now it's all fixed. We now set default code data for transaction fee calculations, and we did some performance improvements. We are currently working on providing a graphical user interface for minting and for burning tokens, as we did for the allowances for the AX9 proposal. And I've also been working on AX9 test coverage, as people are requesting standard for tokens. We need to provide fully audited standard, and for that purpose, I've been working mostly on it. I've also created a Fate and Lima compatible version of the contract, which will be most likely the one used from now on after the Lima release. And that's basically it. I've also reviewed the smart contract for the migration of the locked tokens, but yeah, that was mostly from our side.
Cool. A lot of new exciting stuff. I'm also playing around. Like I played around quite a lot this week with the browser wallet, and it gets better and better. And it's nice to see. Good work. Thank you very much, Milen, and also to your team. Yeah, you were mentioning the non-transferable token migration. It's quite a complex topic, and it got more complex with every step we were taking. And all the different types of tokens we wanted to rescue from Ethereum into Lima mainnet, which are not only the locked tokens in accounts, but also from people that accidentally send their tokens to either the smart contract, like the Ethereum ERC20 Eternity smart contract, or to the token migration Burn smart contract. So there have been some, let's say, call them technical mistakes by users. And I think we got like more than 99.9% of all tokens covered. Only the ones managed by smart contracts will be lost on Ethereum. Martin, maybe you can say a few words to this and also like describe the journey a little bit. I think it's very interesting and also very important for the community.
Yes. Hello, guys. So, can you hear me? Actually.
Yeah. Okay. All good.
As you all mentioned, we were also very focused last week on the token migration. Together with the core team, we managed to extract all of the token holders, the one from the locked Ethereum contracts, you mentioned, the one that have mistakenly transferred their tokens to the ERC contract and to the token burner contract. All of those holders are pushed as files into GitHub public repository, so everyone can verify their accounts and balances. Also, we are currently working on a migration guide and some steps that users can verify if their accounts are present and their balances, and if everything is all right. Also, we have polishing the client side and the backend application that will actually do the migration. We will also make it available for testnet, so we can all be sure that everything is working flawlessly on testnet, of course. And I think this is mainly for token migration, thanks to all of the teams that were involved, so we can be sure that there are no mistakes there. I think that everything is fine. Also, we managed to find some time to fix some known issues on our project side. So we are working on fixing one issue with the init functionality that is missing the gitignore file. The problem is already investigated and solved in its pull request. And yeah, I think this is mostly from our team for last week.
Great, thanks a lot, Martin, and yeah, good job. I think we help really a lot of people. Actually, even yesterday, I'm currently in Liechtenstein. I met someone who told me that his tokens are locked on Ethereum and that he is super happy that the technical team around Eternity is like putting so much effort into freeing up those tokens. So really good that we are doing this. Thanks. So maybe one thing that was not mentioned by you, Martin, is there at the initial token sale, the Eternity founding team was promising 1% holdback of tokens for, back in the days it was not called airdrop. Today people call it airdrop, but I think it's not the right word because they will not be airdrop. But there is also a JSON file on GitHub that represents this 1% of the tokens, and they will also be created in the Lima hard fork. It's all public, all on GitHub, and you can check the amounts and the accounts and so on. So I see Peter here, who was working on the ATM integration for the General Bytes ATMs. Unfortunately, we were not able to merge them for the AE Universe conference, but I'm sure this will follow. And as there are thousands of ATMs worldwide, this is definitely a thing, I think, finishing up. So Peter, maybe you can give us a few words on that progress.
Of course. Hi, Emin. Hi, everyone. So this week we haven't done any developments. We still wait for the review from General Bytes. As they promised, they will make it until 11th of October. I'm preparing an update for my forum post where I will post all the commits and the changes on the codes with timeline and what have been
Great.
developed. So I'm intending later today to update the forum thread so everyone could see and check what happened and why, and to be transparent for everyone the work we've done so far. And I'm waiting for the final review to see if there are needed some more changes or they would finally merge it to the master branch. So this is on our side for now.
Perfect. Yeah, really, really good. And I'm sure we will also, we don't have Hernan here, which are working on the Staychain Payments app. But I think we will definitely continue to also build little applications and integrations to like really stress test all the different APIs and functionality of the protocol. So this is definitely something that yeah, is worth doing. And yeah, thanks for your work. I hope that they merge it soon, and there's lots of more things to do. So thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you too.
I see one of the most important people here in our universe, Andrea, also in this call, overlooking that the SDKs are in line with the changes in the protocol. And yeah, especially now with the hard fork, I think there's lots and lots of work. So Andrea, please give us a little update on the current status of that one.
Hello, everybody. So I will continue what Sergey said. So yesterday the RC3 of the node was released, and we are currently releasing the JavaScript SDK and the Python SDK that are available already or will be available in the next half hour. There is a more detailed timeline of what are the steps and the critical components that you will have to take care for the Lima fork. There is a Road to Lima post on the forum with the updates of all the specific dates and critical steps. So please refer to that for more details. And also you have an update for the middleware. The middleware will not experience any dramatic change, but we'll add support to name auctions, so it will be possible to check which auctions are ongoing and what is the current price, etc. And that's it from my side.
Cool. Great. Thank you very much, Andrea. Yeah, that's good news. I think in combination also with the base app supporting a graphical user interface, these names will hopefully really be registered and distributed well to the community. So yeah, cool. Good to hear that. Yeah, next is maybe Daniela, as you're like working on the Alexia SDK team. So I think it's a good follow-up. So please give us your update too.
Hello, everyone. This week we continue our work on supporting Lima release, which includes supporting changes in naming system, state channels, new fate compiler, and smart contract adjustments. We also made a new release on our Alexia SDK, which is full compatible to 4.2.1 version of Eternity node. The release is available on GitHub. Currently, we are ready with a naming system. We tested it and everything is looking good. And we started our work on adjusting state channels. This is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also from the Eternity Universe conference, I don't know, you have also presented like a little just demo application for oracles, like all this kind of stuff. I guess you can all find those things on GitHub. Is this right?
Yes, you can find in GitHub, also in the forum. It's posted already.
Perfect, great. So I think it's a really great example, and hopefully we can get some people interested also from the Alexia community to take a look and play around with what you have built. I think it has a very good status now. Thank you very much for your update. Next person here is, I would like to go with the Stay Channel team. So I see Ulf here and Tino. So let's go with Ulf first. Ulf, do you have a little update for us?
Yeah, so after we came back from Prague, we had actually during that week, we made a lot of changes or fixes in cooperation with the Coin Fabric team to support their feedback. And now we have been working on integrating those back into master, and also fixing various issues with the test suite. And we have also started working together with Cubic to build a quick check model for the state channel FSM. And that's very exciting work, quite complex also, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So essentially, we've been doing a lot of consolidation work now, and preparing for the next big step, which is going to be virtual state channels, of course.
Great, thank you very much for the update, Ulf. Yeah, and I think these quick check models are also very exciting and good that we are tackling this now. And also the little things that popped up during live testing and building these applications like the Coin Fabric team. I think there are many little improvements really came in, and I also expect that way more things like this will happen in the future, and we will all together work on improving all those little screws that we can screw to make it all a little bit more stable. So thank you very much, Ulf. Tino, do you want to add something from your side around your past week's work?
I think Ulf has given a pretty complete update. One thing I would add is that the quick check model, one reason behind that is that it would allow for alternative state channel implementations in the future to be more easily tested. As right now, the test suite is very much geared towards the current implementation. The model would be a lot more useful generically. So, yeah.
All right, I think we are through with everybody who participated here in the development update call this week. It was a small round. Obviously, there are many more things happening in the Eternity universe.
Hey, you forgot me.
Oh, I forgot Nikita. Sorry, how could this happen? So, but to wrap this up, obviously there are many more things happening in the universe, and we cannot always cover everyone. Of course, we will try, and everyone is always invited. But I would like to remind you also that it's really important that we all also post regular written updates into the forum, so people know that this is a place to go to give them updates, but also support around all those different tools. Last but not least, definitely Nikita, please tell us what has been up on your end.
So I've been mostly busy with the follow-ups from our workshops in Prague. So for the core dev team, it's the specs for the native tokens. The longer I thought about it, the more I was convinced that I think we're gonna have to have something like a communication campaign to the community, because the more time you spend with the native tokens, the more complex it gets, and we need to actually reduce complexity instead of introducing more. So we'll just have to maybe ask some people whether what they would like to see, or like what use cases they would have in mind, which maybe we would totally forget, because we're not gonna get like endless amounts of shots on this, maybe only one. So that's why I'm preparing like stuff which we're gonna present to the community to give them some input and inspiration to present their ideas. on this. And regarding the SDK tier of our internal workshops in Prague, I'm working on some standards and regarding like development and documentation for all our SDKs. And as always, I'm most likely gonna do a first move on the JavaScript side. And if people are just gonna like the idea, then we can also adapt them to the other teams. It's mostly also in regard of our difficulties which we have in documenting and of course keeping these documentations up to date. So like because of the really good feedback I got for the code generation, like for the automatic code generator feature for the Fire editor, I thought of some ways of preparing basically recipes for every SDK that would then be used by this feature or by absolutely every other person that would like to utilize these code scaffolds, basically, which we would prepare for every SDK. So you would always could always easily generate a working example for your Eternity application in your favorite programming language or framework or whatever, just to basically, make it easier to get going. And you'll hear and see from that in a couple of days, I hope. Thank you. That's from my side.
Thank you, Nikita. Then this is also a good point to mention that we had like not only the Universe conference 2 weeks ago, but also let's say Hack Workshop Week where we were together a couple of days. There are also recordings and notes and things like that. And if you have done like notes during this workshop, you're welcome to also post them into the forum and like exactly what you're also planning, Nikita, and have people joining the discussion. There are also many recordings. I know that we are all extremely busy, but I'm sure you were not able to watch and see every dev talk or entrepreneur talk on the Universe conference. So if you have some spare time in the evening, skip through the video and see if there are some interesting stuff to grab. Like, for example, the presentation from Hans about generalized accounts and things like that. So I can just motivate everyone here to do that. It was really a very contentful conference, I think, and with a lot of things. Also, for everyone here, it's maybe also an important news. So in around 7 weeks or so, we are already planning the next get together for developers. So like 7 or 8 weeks, maybe check your calendars and of course also reach out in dev chat and different other areas. So we also get together physically again, on a regular base to push things forward. Thank you very much for participating, and have a really nice weekend, everyone, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.